Welcome to the $80,000 salary illusion. In this video, we will explain why a strong salary in a high-cost area can still feel like living paycheck to paycheck. We will focus on cash flow, not vanity metrics. We will also give you a practical 90-day plan to regain liquidity. Let us begin by setting ground rules and a clear agenda. Before we proceed, please note this content is for educational purposes only and is not personal financial advice. Consult a qualified professional who understands your specific circumstances, taxes, and employer plan rules. With that said, let us move smoothly into today's agenda. Here is the agenda. We will start with the cash flow problem behind the salary illusion. Then we will tackle ESPP pitfalls and a fast fix. After that, we will cover the 401k match and why it is non-negotiable. Next, we will crush debt and reallocate the budget. We will then address housing and fixed cost resets. We will discuss the controversial topic of prioritizing family support. Finally, we will walk through a 90-day roadmap and reinforce learning with quizzes. Now let us dive into the core problem. In expensive cities, even strong salaries get consumed by high rent, transportation, and automatic paycheck deductions. Early in your career, liquidity beats aggressive investing because it keeps you resilient, prevents debt spiral, and buys options. With that framing, let us examine the salary trap. The salary trap works like this. High fixed expenses such as rent, transportation, and subscriptions devour take-home pay. Meanwhile, aggressive automatic deductions like a large ESPP contribution can starve your monthly budget. Debt interest often outpaces typical market returns, meaning the cost of carrying debt is higher than the benefit of extra investing. Early in your career, liquidity is your advantage. The primary goal is to redirect cash toward an emergency fund and debt elimination before maximizing long-term investments. Next, let us visualize the cash flow problem and the fix. This flowchart contrasts a default path with a more optimal path. On the left, a paycheck is reduced by large auto deductions, such as a 15% ESPP and a retirement contribution beyond the employer match. Fixed costs further reduce liquidity, which often pushes people toward debt. Interest erodes progress, and net worth stagnates. On the right, smart deductions limit ESPP to a minimal level and set the 401k at the exact level needed for the full employer match. The freed cash goes into an emergency fund and aggressive debt paydown. Liquidity rises, interest paid falls, and net worth accelerates. Now let us convert this into a concrete action plan. This pie chart shows a common allocation pattern. A large housing share combines with a high ESPP deduction, leaving only a modest portion for essentials and discretionary spending. Without an emergency fund, this structure is fragile. Next, we will implement a 90-day turnaround to rebalance this pie toward liquidity. Here is the 90-day plan. First, audit deductions and fixed costs. In week 1, reduce ESPP to 0 to 5% until your emergency fund is established. If you are locked into a high ESPP, sell vested shares upon acquisition to convert back to cash. Set the 401k to the level needed to capture the full employer match and no more. Redirect the freed cash into automatic overpayments on high-interest consumer debt. During weeks 2 through 4, rapidly build a $1,000 starter emergency fund. In month 2, keep contributions match only and continue minimal ESPP while aggressively paying debt. Also challenge high fixed costs, such as adding a roommate or choosing cheaper transportation. In month 3, reassess and, only after high-interest debt is gone and your emergency fund is progressing, consider modestly increasing long-term investing. Review quarterly. Next, let us address ESPP mechanics and the practical fix. The fastest way to regain liquidity is to shrink the ESPP bite. If the plan currently takes 15%, reduce it to 0 to 5% until your emergency fund reaches 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you are locked into a higher percentage, sell shares as soon as they vest to convert them to cash. Liquidity now is more valuable than theoretical future gains. Tax treatment for ESPP sales can vary. Consult a professional if you are uncertain. With ESPP addressed, let us lock in the free return available from your employer. Employer matching contributions are free returns. Set your 401k contribution to the exact level that captures the full match and avoid front-loading if your employer matches per paycheck. Spread contributions to maximize match dollars. Contributions beyond the match can be paused while you eliminate high-interest debt. Next, we will compare investing early versus paying down debt first. On the left, investing more now offers the potential of compound growth, but comes with volatility and reduced liquidity. If you carry double-digit interest rate debt, the expected market return is often lower than your borrowing cost, making extra investing inefficient. On the right, eliminating debt first yields a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate, increases monthly cash flow, and reduces mandatory payments, which improves resilience. This approach usually accelerates future investing capacity. Now let us quantify how a budget can change before and after these adjustments. Here is a hypothetical before and after snapshot. Net income remains $5,000. Housing stays at $2,000. ESPP drops from $750 to $250, and the 401k contribution is reduced to $300 to capture the match only. Debt payments increase drastically from $300 to $1,000, accelerating payoff, while $500 is directed to the emergency fund. Essentials and discretionary spending tighten temporarily to absorb the reallocation. This model shows how to buy liquidity and momentum quickly. Now, let us challenge the biggest fixed cost: housing. Housing is often the largest lever. Adding a roommate or downsizing can free $500 to $1,000 per month. Negotiate at renewal using comparable listings. Consider location trade-offs, such as a longer commute for substantially lower rent. Evaluate transportation costs and consider switching to public transit or a cheaper vehicle if it reduces total expenses. Next, let us test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: which change usually increases liquidity the fastest for most young professionals in high-cost areas? Option A: cut ESPP from 15% to 0 to 5% and sell vested shares upon acquisition. Option B: increase 401k to 20% immediately. Option C: clip coupons and hunt for small discounts. Option D: buy more company stock on margin. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is to cut ESPP from 15% to 0 to 5% and sell vested shares upon acquisition. This move restores take-home cash quickly. Increasing 401k to 20% reduces liquidity. Couponing yields small gains, and buying stock on margin increases risk. Next, let us address the sensitive topic of supporting family members. Providing financial help to family is admirable, but it must be secondary to establishing your own emergency fund. You cannot provide sustainable help if you are unstable. Consider a temporary reduction in assistance while you stabilize. Then resume support with clear boundaries and timelines. Now, let us map the entire 90-day reset in a timeline diagram. This timeline will visualize the sequence. Day 1 audit, Week 1 payroll changes to ESPP and 401k, Weeks 2 through 4 mini emergency fund build, Month 2 aggressive debt paydown and fixed cost reductions, and Month 3 reassessment with optional incremental investment increases. Quarterly reviews ensure ongoing alignment. Next, we will reinforce with a Markdown checklist you can copy. Here is a Markdown checklist you can copy into your notes. It prioritizes liquidity, instructs you to reduce ESPP and sell vested shares if you are locked at a high percentage, sets the 401k to the match only, adds automatic extra payments to high-interest debt, builds a $1,000 starter emergency fund, challenges housing costs, and recommends quarterly reviews before increasing investments. Next, a second quick quiz on employer matching. Question: your employer matches 50% up to 6% of your salary. What is the minimum you should contribute to receive the full match? Option A, 3%. Option B, 6%. Option C, 9%. Option D, 12%. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is 6%. Contributing 6% triggers a 3% employer match because the match is 50% of your contribution up to 6%. Now, let us wrap up with key takeaways. These are the key points. Liquidity is more valuable than aggressive investing early on. An oversized ESPP can starve your budget, so reduce it and sell vested shares if necessary. Always capture the full employer 401k match. A debt-first strategy often outperforms extra investing when interest rates are high. Challenge housing and other fixed costs for significant gains. Support family after your own safety net is secured. Now, a quick summary and next steps. In summary, a high income can feel broke when fixed costs and oversized deductions drain liquidity. Reduce ESPP, sell vested shares for cash, and set the 401k to the match only. Attack high-interest debt and build your emergency fund. Finally, push on housing and other large expenses to expand monthly cash flow. Now, let us close with a call to action. Thank you for watching. If this clarified the salary illusion and gave you an actionable plan, please like the video, share it with someone living in a high-cost area, and subscribe for more practical money strategies. In the comments, tell us which fixed cost you will challenge first and what step you will take this week.